Hey, do you know what time it is? It's white boy summer.
White boy summer!
If I don't get 100K by the end of the year, bitch, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Morning, my people. Bro, imagine this becomes my job. Imagine I can professionally come and sit down in my bed and talk to people on the internet for a living. Morning. It's this morning, actually. I'm gonna film this right now, go play football, come back, edit this, and turn it out. And that's what happens when you have a new 50,000 Rand MacBook Pro. You know what I'm saying? It's raining right now, Sunday morning. I got football in the rain, which is pretty exciting. And I really love those cozy mornings. Being like wrapped up in fresh sheets. I changed these sheets like 2-3 days ago. Hi, welcome back to Keeping It Raw, where I always keep it straight and not always right, but when I finish, nothing left. This is kind of a Keeping It Raw, I guess. This is a weird subject. If you're my friend and you watch my videos, I know if you're seeing this title right now, you're like, wow, Matt, this is you. After everything you've said, after all the slander. This is wild. This is how I know that, like, life is going full circles. Like, I'm growing a little bit, you know. Not physically, I'm 5'8" till the day that I'm 6'4" till the day that I die. But a few years back, I don't think I would have predicted myself speaking about mental health on a public platform. Well, first of all, where do I even start about this? So first of all, let's just talk about the fact that I said this in another video pretty recently, but I really appreciate whenever someone tells me like, yo Matt, I watched your turning 24 video or your sit down video about love or whatever. Like, just when you sit down and talk to us, you're one of like the realest channels out there. Like, you keep it real. And in my personal life, I pride myself on being loyal, being loyal, having integrity, being straightforward, being blunt with my friends. There's never anything under the table. They always know what they get with me. Being able to transfer that in an online environment to you guys, and you guys who don't know me on a personal level, that means a lot for me. And I think it's on a selfish level, because then I can validate the fact that I have those principles, because they're very important to me. Anyone that knows me knows that, like, those are some things that I hold dear. Like, as long as you know that I'm honest, no matter what's happening. Oh, Matt's mean. Matt could have said that in a sweeter way, but he's honest though. And the fact that some of you guys think that of me, that means something to me. Anyways, mental health. Why I think more men should go to therapy. Oh, also, before I start getting into the nitty-gritties of this, please realize that this is just my opinion, and it's okay to have an opinion. Please don't bleed me in the comments. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. You can go disagree with me, but just do it nicely, please. Thank you. Before I started going to therapy, I only started going to therapy end of last year, age 25, end of last year. I was your stereotypical... Basically, if you went to therapy, I thought you were a bitch. I thought you couldn't handle your problems. I was one of those men that were like, yeah, life's tough, but just shut up and keep going. Oh, you got problems? All right, bro, everybody got problems. Get on with it. When I say like stereotypical man, it's like I don't even think I still believe in mental illness. And this is where I say, like, this is my opinion. It's like, this is just how my brain is hardwired. I understand that there is literature on mental illness. I understand. I get it. I get that there's scientific backing. I get it. The way my brain is wired, I'm like, depression isn't real. Anxiety isn't real. Like, oh, you're worried? I'm being honest with you guys. Like, you guys appreciate that from me, so I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, I was always like, yo, you're nervous? You're unsure, and that's a medical illness, like, okay. And like I said, I've been going to therapy since the end of last year, but I still am like that. That's just how my brain's wired. But like a lot of guys as well, when you live like that, all that shit builds up in your chest. And I'm still dealing with this. Like, you become a very angry individual inside, and even though you don't show it, like, I'm very like laughing, giggly, and like I'm not very confrontational in a physical sense. Like, I'm not fighting anybody, but like, you carry some anger on your chest, and it comes out in interactions with people that are close to you, people that are not close to you sometimes. And you never deal with it, and that can reflect itself in unhealthy ways. Again, if you're my friend watching this, okay. Alright, I've changed my mind slightly about mental health and therapy, okay? Okay, yes, anyways, I was one of those guys that was like, nah, not gonna do that, it's not for me. But my parents, like, towards the end of last year, uni wasn't going well, as is always the case. They finally caved me, and they were like, yo, go to therapy, bro, go. At least just try. It basically just like moaned at me until I, whoa. They basically like whined about it until I whined. They complained until I went. You understand? So I went and saw this therapist, and I had been to a therapist before when something traumatic happened in my life. Basically, it's another like you must go. And I sat down across from homie for one session, and I was like, yo, fuck this guy. Like literally, I sat across from him and I was like, I was always skeptical. I'm not very trusting of strangers, and it just seems like a therapist is there to apply a framework they learned in university to your life, to find out methods to tactically break down what's going on in your head so that they can guide you in a certain way. And I was like, I don't want someone guiding my thoughts using some sort of strategy. I don't trust that shit. And the guy that I went to therapy with for that one session, like, basically, I was telling him how I don't really rock with uni and like I don't see that being my passion. You know what the guy told me? His advice was, oh, you're at a major crossroads in your life about what you want to do for the future, for the rest of your days. Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do exactly what you're doing right now that's making you unhappy, but then find space for your passion on the side? Bro literally told me what everyone tells me. I was like, why am I even here? What effort are you putting in? I tell you, yo, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with my life. I don't feel comfortable with where I'm at right now. I don't picture myself being a 9-to-5 gen for the rest of my life. You're like, oh, I hear you. Be a 9-to-5 gen, but you can play football on the weekend. Like, so I dipped from that guy. So anyways, I've never been consistently therapy ever in my life, really. There's another time when I was a kid, but that's when I got stuck in a car boot. That's... I don't want to bore you guys with that story right now. So I went to therapy with this dude therapist. I was straight up with them from the beginning, and I told them I'm not very trusting. I don't want to be here. I don't really believe in this. And then they were like, yeah, that's fine. They were really like hands off, which is something I responded well to. So I guess the applicable lesson here is that a therapist that you're comfortable with might not be the first one you go to. And that's okay. I think it's like a customer service issue. You're purchasing a service. So don't go to therapy and then just make it work with the therapist. If it don't work with the therapist, be like, I'll catch you on the flipsies. So anyways, this therapist, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try this out. And I started talking. Where I'm at now in my stage, like, if nothing else, it's a place that I get an hour a week where I can get things off my chest. And that's something that isn't available to a lot of men. You have your friends, you have your family. My family are very supportive. My friends are very supportive. But there's some things in your chest that like you don't want to tell to someone you have a pre-existing relationship with. And this is why therapy is so important, because the therapist that you meet, you have a clean slate with them. They don't know who you are. They don't know your history. They don't have biases around your character. And that's where it gets tough to sometimes share things with friends and family, because you don't feel safe, because they already think things about you. For example, like I'm quite hard-headed as an individual. So when I tell my friends or my family a story about someone that had conflict with me, I might be biased because it's my story, but they might have been in the wrong. But because the person you're telling the story to already thinks that you're hard-headed, that's gonna like affect their advice. Whereas when you tell your therapist, they approach it with much less bias and more of like an open perspective. Another thing I noticed about going to therapy is that, so first of all, it's a safe space to drop off my thoughts once a week. If anything, it helps clear the space in your head, clear the space in your chest. You know, when that shit builds up, I think it helps. Although, to be fair, sometimes I think it doesn't. It's very hard to go to therapy. It's very hard. You are actively engaging with your emotions and thoughts and purpose and why you feel all these things. But another positive is that, and guided by your therapist, you make connections between what you're doing and why you do it, which is like a crazy revelation. You guys know Lulu from the previous videos, and you know Shay. They're two of the people that are closest to me. And I'll have conversations with my therapist where we'll talk about like why I did something, and I'll sit there and just talk about something, blah blah blah, and then when I'm talking to Lulu afterwards or Shay afterwards, the content from the therapy session will click in my head and make a connection. I'll be like, oh my days, is that why I do that? It's sort of like therapy lays like the groundwork in like rationalization in your head as to like why things are occurring, and then it like clicks when you're speaking to people that are familiar to you. Yeah. Anyways, this is a Sunday chat. Let me know if you want to hear the story about how I got stuck in the boot. I don't want to make this video too long. Hope you guys have a good Sunday. Should I go shoot content on campus? Yes, Matt, you should. That's what gets views, and then views gets money. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna lie. Doing it one man is not really my thing, but I think I'm building it up to be worse in my head than what it actually is. Have a good ass Sunday. This was nice. Oh, and the point of this video. Gents, try it maybe. See if it works for you. I still don't believe in mental health though. I'm not gonna lie. Mental health maybe. Mental health I believe in. Doing things to take care of your mental state. But mental illness, still on the fence. I'm still the kind of guy that just wants to do it all by himself, keep it all to himself a lot of the time. But that's who I am. And this is a step. I don't want to say growth, because I don't know if it's a positive step. Deep down I know it's a positive step. But like I said, I'm hard-headed sometimes. Okay. Bye bye.
Oh, by the way, we played in the rain. We won 6-5 and I scored 4 goals. Yes, sir. Oh, wait.